selfies. Isn't he good? He's actually doing all the selfies for all the girls.
That's great.
So he'll be with us in just a tick. All right, our next guest is one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, and he's an Aussie, and he is kind of part of the Channel 7 family, or he used to, and we still claim him. Chris Hemsworth has risen to the top of the A-list with roles in Thor and the Avengers.
But now he's back home with a new, very important mission, and he wants all Australians to get involved. On screen, he's the almighty Thor, one of the Marvel Universe's most popular superheroes.
Jane.
Sorry, I just needed to make sure you were real.
Chris Hemsworth swapped Channel 7's Home and Away stable for the bright lights of Hollywood.
You ready for another bout?
He starred in some of the biggest blockbusters of all time, including Snow White and the Huntsman.
Who are you? Why the Queen wants you dead?
You should know you're the one hunting me.
Now Chris is back home for a new campaign. He's the patron of the Australian Childhood Foundation, a national children's charity working to prevent childhood abuse in the community.
For over 25 years, the Australian Childhood Foundation has been helping children recover from abuse, neglect and family violence, but they can't do it alone. So please join me, and together we can try to help ensure not another child has to suffer.
So important. As our Chris Hemsworth joins us now. Mate, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Why is this charity so important to you?
You know, unfortunately, there's more reports of abuse in Australia than ever before. There's 750 per day last year, which is roughly 1 every 2 minutes. So we want to put a spotlight on the issue and make child protection the #1 focus for all Australians, and the welfare of children our main priority.
Yeah, they are awful statistics. How can Australians get involved in this?
Well, they can go on the website, which is www.childhood.org.au, and become a campaigner for the movement. Donate money to the charity to support the work they're doing. And the social media component, we're asking people through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter to share their most memorable childhood experience, a photograph, what have you,
that's nice.
with the hashtag Not Another Child, so we can celebrate what childhood should be about and how lucky we are to have those experiences, but also to think about the kids who, because of abuse, don't get to experience that sense of joy, love and belonging.
Yeah.
But it's one of those taboo subjects,
Yeah, absolutely.
isn't it? That you kiss your kids good night every night in bed, and you hope you don't want to think about other kids who don't have the same childhood as your own. But we've got to focus on it.
We do, you know, and the foundation did a survey and asked people what were the #1 social issues in the country. They said petrol prices, taxes, etc., but no one said child abuse. But when prompted, they all said, oh yes, and it went to the top of the list. So I think it's about reprioritising and focusing on it and making it an issue, because you're right, it is a tough subject. No one wants to believe it's possible or that it can happen, and it's a significant adult in someone's life. But us avoiding the issue out of our own discomfort doesn't help the kids. So if
exactly,
good on you.
you.
And you know, can I just say, a lot of celebrities get behind a lot of causes, but you believe in this. I can see it, and you know your stuff, and that is that makes it even better. Because
all the details on our website. Get involved. It's really important. Don't think, oh, that could never happen in Australia. It does, and we've got to do something about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
On to happier things. Welcome home.
Thank you.
You're home. Are you home for the AFL Grand Final? Are you going?
I am, yeah, we're going to go. Yeah.
Especially for it?
Yeah, I haven't watched a game in years, and I just watched the game last week, and I'm sorry about the result, mate. But it was
a cracking game.
It was one of the best I've seen, and so I'm excited to see the game this weekend, definitely.
Do you picture, like, we've known you ever since Home and Away. You're a superstar, you hang out with Angelina Jolie, you do all these movies. Do you pinch yourself and say, God, what am I doing?
Absolutely, especially when I come home and I have a reference point for it, you know. And it's funny, I go overseas and that was sort of the norm for there because I worked pretty quick, but I come back home and go, wow, this is where I grew up, and look at what's happened, and it's amazing. I couldn't ask for anything more.
What is it like when, you know, to go from Home and Away to Hollywood? It's great alliteration for us journalists, but what is it like when the big bosses in Hollywood start to zero in on you and offer you roles like Thor, and you kind of think, wow, I'm going to be a big deal here?
You know, it's kind of mind-blowing on one hand, but it also is the same process as it was for Home and Away. I remember that audition process, and it was the biggest thing in my life at the time, and one of the best experiences I had working on Home and Away. And and I was probably just as excited each job I've gotten over there. So
Yeah, but you work hard. That's the thing, isn't
Yeah.
it? And everyone you talk to who's worked on movies with you, say he just works so hard.
Oh, sure. Yeah, look, I think work ethic is the biggest asset over there, and most Australians tend to have that strong work ethic and go out there and get it, which is why we do well in Hollywood, I think, for that reason.
Yeah.
There's a few Aussies in Hollywood now.
There's a lot of us.
And
I
you
see
do
more
hear that-
Australians there that I know than I do back here, funny enough. It's compacted.
And you
into a
all
small
help
place.
each other.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Okay, now you've been filming the Avengers sequel. What
Yeah.
can you tell us about that?
Not much. It's shrouded in the usual secrecy that it is. But we shot earlier this year over in Europe, and I mean, it was massive. It was great to see all those characters come back together and go at it again. And it's bigger and better than the first one, that's for sure.
And what else have you got coming up?
I did another movie with Ron Howard called In the Heart of the Sea. Comes out next year.
Was he good to work with?
He's brilliant. Yeah, I shot Rush with him, and he's one of my favourite directors. And the story is about the true events that inspired Herman Melville to write Moby Dick.
Right.
And then I shot a movie with Michael Mann, which is set in the cyber world and of cyber terrorism, cyber crime. So it's a nice Michael Mann thriller.
Wow. So don't mean to sound like your mother, but I'm so proud of you. You've been on a bit of a holiday. You brought the kids?
I brought the kids, yeah.
How are they all going?
Going great, yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to come. We haven't come back home for a number of years. I mean, I've come back briefly for press, but to spend a good amount of time here is great. And just, see the family, friends, and be back in Australia.
How old are they now?
My two boys, both 8 months old, and my daughter is 2.5.
Right. It's very cute ages.
Yeah, all under 3, which is it's busy. A lot of fun.
Mate, it's great to have you back home. Enjoy the grand final
Great to be
tomorrow.
here. Thank you.
Thanks
Good to see you.
thanks for coming back to chat to us.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, as you left years ago, we sort of like remember us when you're famous, and you did. So
Yeah,
I
thank you.
did. How could I forget?
Good on you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks a lot.
All right, you can find out more about the Australian Childhood Foundation campaign at childhood.org.au. Help Chris get behind it. All the information is on our website as well.
Yeah.